Christian Against Poverty is a charity that started up in 1996 in Bradford, and seeks to empower churches to actually give full-on professional debt counselling to their communities. Not only that, they also run budgeting courses, they run life skill courses, they run job clubs. There's lots and lots of ways in which Christians Against Poverty, CAP, can really support the residents of the community. The great news is there is help, and it is effective. Tens of thousands of people have gone through the CAP process and gone debt-free. And so in 2013, CAP Whitehaven came into existence. And CAP Whitehaven serves the residents of North Copeland and operates the debt counselling service. Because a lot of people, when they have money troubles, it's something they feel they should be sorting out for themselves. There's a real sort of like shame element involved in that. People don't want to go and seek help. So one of the reasons that over a third of people who do eventually approach CAP have either considered or even attempted suicide, because they just feel the only way out is to take their lives. And that is an absolute tragedy, Stephen. And so it's wonderful that there are avenues like Christians Against Poverty out there which don't judge you. They don't come in and say, how on earth did you get in this mess? Nothing like that at all. And so many clients say, I felt so ashamed, and yet when I approached you, you didn't judge me. And it means a lot to people, Stephen. One of the great things about this, Stephen, is it's entirely free. The whole process is free. The debt counselling is free, the budgeting courses are free, the job clubs are free, everything is free. Because these are folks who don't have any extra money, but they really, really need help. So there's a free phone number, 0800 328 0006, and that will be, on your article. There's the website at capuk.org, and these will be your first routes in. The courage it takes, Stephen, just simply to get to a point where you pick up the phone and say, I need help, is something else again. It needs a hell of a lot of courage to do that, to admit that things have got to a point where you actually do need somebody to come.
The area that you cover, you say CAP Whitehaven,
yeah,
but you cover Cumbria, don't you?
Well, so you've got CAP Whitehaven, which covers North Copeland, and then you've got CAP Carlisle, so that's the whole sort of like Carlisle area. You've got CAP Edenham District, which is Penrith area. You've got CAP Kendal, and you've got CAP Barrow. So a lot of the county is covered with CAP centres. But the great news is there is help, and it is effective. Tens of thousands of people have gone through the CAP process and gone debt-free. And in doing that, not only have they had that weight of debt lifted off them, they've also learned how to budget so that going into the future, and my heavens, you're absolutely right, look at the future we've got right now, they're in a much stronger place to be able to navigate. So for example, the CAP Money budgeting courses, they're designed to help people get on top of their finances. That is the prevention before cure thing. Yeah. But many people, they've gone way beyond that. They actually need someone now to stand in the gap, stand with them between the people they're owing money to, their creditors, and them, and negotiate with them for a deal that they can cope with, a deal that they can manage. CAP doesn't pay people's debts off. That's not what CAP's about. What CAP does, because it's a really, really strong organisation. Banks listen to them, credit cards listen to them, housing associations listen to them. They work really well. What they do is negotiate on the client's behalf with all these creditors payments that the client can afford. And if Stephen, at the end of the day, the situation's like really, really bad, then CAP will walk them through insolvency processes like bankruptcy. They'll walk with them through it. And the great news is, Stephen, they're with them all the way through. This isn't like we give you, hey, look, here you are, this is what you do, get on with it. It's not a bit of that at all. We stay with the client right the way through the entire process. We're with them. We walk with them hand in hand so that they feel they're not on their own with this. I was centre manager for CAP Whitehaven for 5 years. And in that time, exactly as you said, Stephen, we have people from all walks of life. I have people from Sellafield, worked at Sellafield, good jobs. But Stephen, you know what life does to you. So I think of one person, it was a relationship breakdown. The person walked out and left them with a massive debt because they'd set up home together, and she had actually paid for all the various things because she had a good job, and he walked out and he left her with the whole lot. And she was in a really difficult state. Even though she had a good job, she was in a really difficult state. We get people on all sorts of life. But you see, it is those ordinary things that hit people, Most of us can just about get on by, but all it needs is something like a relationship breakdown, maybe a bereavement, maybe an accident, maybe long-term illness, whatever it happens to be. And suddenly just bumping along and being okay isn't okay anymore, because the income that you were depending on is suddenly not coming in. But you still got to pay your rent, you've still got to pay your council tax, you've still got to pay your lecky and your gas, and so on and so forth. And before you know it, that pit opens up, and the whole thing spirals out of control so fast, you cannot believe it.
So basically, going to CAP, there's no shame, there's no blame.
People will feel shame. They do, because that is a normal human reaction. It's said that there are two things that people don't talk about, and that's death and debt.
Right, okay.
And there's a lot of truth in that. People, the very first event I ever went to there was a thing on Myris, about local agencies that will help you, and they invited me to come as the Christians Against Poverty Debt Centre for Whitehaven. And I set up my stall and I had my big banner, and I thought, hang on, we're not going to have a queue here with people queuing up saying, yeah, I'm in debt, can you help? That's not the way people work. So what I did, Stephen, was I went round and just carefully left leaflets like that. I just dotted them around, like on seats and so on. So somebody could just sit on a seat and say, might need that. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not going to raise a banner or raise the flag and say, yeah, I'm in debt, I need help. That's not the way we work. It's for everybody. And it doesn't matter whether you're religious or not religious. It doesn't matter whether you're white or black, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're old or young, whether you've got a job or you haven't got a job. It doesn't matter. We're there to help our communities in whatever situation they find themselves, and that's really, really important. It is for everyone. The beautiful things with CAP is it's face-to-face, it's very personal, it's holistic. We don't just look at the debt, we look at actually what your situation is, and we try to take that person, that family, whatever it is, and try to lift them from the pit that they're in as a family and help them to the place they want to be perfectly honest with you. The first thing is to be debt-free, and if you can sort out what the causes are that has got them into that situation, then hopefully they can go forward from there. So it's a holistic thing, and we meet people in their homes. We don't have an office as such that people come to. We meet them in their homes, where, and if you're disabled, how important is that? For example, let alone people feel comfortable in their homes. They're much more comfortable meeting you in their own space, all right? And basically the way the process works, Stephen, is that at our first meeting, we just get to know each other, explain what CAP's about, how it works, how you'd need to work with them and so on. And assuming that a client thinks, I've taken that first step, let's go forward with this. What we do, and this is a fantastic thing, Stephen, is we take away all their paperwork, all those demands for rent, all the demands for council tax, all the demands for gas, the credit cards, the bank statements, all that is taken away, and that's sent off to head office in Bradford, where the very skilled folks work through what the situation is and work out a workable budget, or if there isn't going to be a workable budget that we can pay off over a period of time, then suggest insolvency and work through how that's going to go. And then the second meeting, go back and explain what the situation is and how CAP can help with that. And then finally, at the third meeting, the actual plan is put in place if that's what the client wants to do with. But I think the thing is, Stephen, people need to know that it's not being taken out of their hands. This is their journey, and we're there to help them on the journey. But all the time, it's their choice. Nobody's make them do anything. But CAP will come out with the best way to get out of the situation that they're in, and we handhold clients right the way through the whole thing. So Martin Lewis, who is somebody that I know a lot of people think very highly of, because he's there for us.
Yeah.
He's trying to help each of us navigate these difficult times, trying to make the most of what little money that we have, and CAP is something that Martin Lewis thinks very highly of. Every time he suggests who to go to if you're in trouble, he will always say Christians Against Poverty are fantastic. If you are suffering real mental health issues, if debt means you can't sleep at night, then CAP are the people you want to go to, because they are fantastic at actually understanding you, helping you, rather than just being a faceless organisation. They become friends. And this pamphlet says, are you weighed down by debt? And people are. Yeah. But to have that debt, have that weight lifted off, is a fantastic thing. The fact that debt it's a symptom of our society as much as anything else. It's so easy to get into. What are adverts doing? They're telling you this is what you need. You're not a proper person if you don't have that. If you don't look like this, you're wrong. Why aren't you going on that holiday? You deserve it. Our society sets people up to be in debt and then judges them for being in debt. Where's the fairness in that? So the wonderful thing is the whole service is free. It's not just in Cumbria, it's right across the UK. So if people know people, friends, family, other parts of the UK, it's there. But the whole thing is free. So you phone free, you go on the website, obviously free. So it's 0800 328 0006. And it takes a lot of guts to pick the phone up, but wow, when you do, the difference it makes to say, I've taken that first step to be debt free. And I can be debt free forever.